Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yes, I'm working on the review as we speak. Yeah, of course. Well, working on it. I'm not really making progress, but I mean, maybe you have an idea. The thing is, the GH7, it's a fully spec'd camera. Like fully spec'd flagship model. I mean, it's the improvement of the GH6. That says enough. But still, I don't have an idea how to review it. A lot is the same, and specs we kind of know from other models. Yeah, hold on. Well, you know, the thing is that I already reviewed the S5 II, the S5 IIX, and also the GH6, of course. And a lot of the new stuff is something we saw already, of course, in the GH6 and now in the S5 II and the S5 IIX, which is of course great. But I'm searching for like, okay, do I have to repeat that? Because, okay, it's with the GH7, but yes, hold on. I'm stepping out of the car. Well, yes, that's true. You gotta see it like this. Yeah, really. It has the same hybrid AF, the new focus system. Also the proxy recording, the frame I/O, connectivity, streaming, the real-time LUT, even now with the new lab app from the S9. So yeah, that's indeed, yes. Ha! Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly my question. I mean, that was the first thing that popped my mind when I was going through the menu. As a matter of fact, I thought, why is it a GH7 and not a GH6 Mark II? For that reason. Yeah, I mean, it has the same improvements as the S5 II. At least that's what I thought when going through the menu. Yeah, man, no, yeah, kinda. Yes, I thought so, but no, they were right. They were definitely right to call this a GH7 because they got one feature, one great feature, and that's internal recording, RAW. Yeah, man. No, really, RAW, not HDMI, RAW, internally. I mean, yes, there are more improvements in features, new features. Yeah. So you know, that's why I thought, okay, it's quite difficult. What now? I mean, oh, that's not a bad idea. Oh yeah, I can definitely do that. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, and only reviewing like the highlights that really interest me. Yeah, and maybe some other improvements on the way. I mean, still have to review it, have to test some stuff, but yes, there's still a lot of work to do, but okay, I will do that. Yes. Yeah, it's great. I mean, yeah, I had to struggle, but so yeah, man, great, really great. Okay, now I have an idea where to start. Yeah, I got some work to do now. Hey guys, great having you back at the channel. And for those who are new, my name is Kevin van Diest. Yes, we're gonna look at the new GH7 Lumix. Yes, one thing first, it's a demo version and there's a reason why I'm a bit late. Normally I would have released this video on the official announcement, the 5th of June. I'm recording this now at the 2nd of June and there's one reason why I waited with the launch, with the release of this video, and that's this reason.
We have just shared almost all the details.
Yes, you heard it correct. So he said almost. So not everything was mentioned in the secret embargo meeting. So I don't know all the new things. There was like, okay, there's something new, special, surprise being announced at the official announcement date. So I still have to wait, and you guys already know that. I don't, and I'm very curious. Maybe a new camera, maybe an X version will be announced, or a firmware update. I don't know what it is. I totally don't know, and I don't understand why they kept it like. I'm getting expectations, you know. So I'm curious, but you guys already know it, and of course I will add it to the video later in post, and that's why I'm releasing this video just a bit later. Not sure, maybe a few days. So let's first start with this camera, and I have to say, guys, I have hay fever, so I'm sorry up front if I do a bit of sniffing, squinting my eyes, maybe even sneezing, but the show must go on, and here it is, the GH7 turning the lights on. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Nice, right? Well, it's exactly the same with the GH6. So I got it in the case with the GH6 and I've used it just on the streets. Yes, I taped off the GH7 logo, but just saying it's the GH6 and people will definitely believe it because it's exactly the same. So let's start with the fact that I find it very difficult to review this because a lot of the features, new features already has been told by me in previous videos with the S5 IIX, the S5 II, the GH6, the S9. So I decided to only go for the highlights that really interest me and things that I've noticed the difference between these cameras. So let's first do a quick recap of the stuff, the new stuff. So we got a new 25 megapixel sensor with the new full V-Log. We got an internal RAW recording option, awesome. The hybrid autofocus system. We got the real-time LUT with also the new lab app. The Lumix Lab app. The same with the S9, so it's nice to see it in this camera too. And obviously there will be more. The frame out connectivity, the streaming options, the improved stabilization. The stabilization like with the S5 II and the S5 IIX, and now also with a high option in the electronic stabilization. So it's great to have it built in case you have extreme situation. And I also like to have those options so it saves time in doing warp stabilization in post or whatever. So that's nice to have it in the camera. And last thing, the 32-bit float recording and the proxy recording. So it's really nice to have all the features, and I'm only going to discuss a few that I find very interesting or which I use. So let's start with the obvious, the raw internally recording. That is major. Major to have, and it's great to have it in the camera as an option. I have used RAW in the past with the S5 II, but don't really like the whole setup with animals and the preps in that thing. No, I don't like it. I don't like it, seriously. So for me, it's a bit new, and it's nice to have it in the camera because normally I always shoot with the SSD, and using SSD now, you have the option to just record RAW. I have to say, guys, if you are using the CF Express card, which is also an option, this card slot one, you can use it with this one internally, or you can say, hey, I don't want to use this and I want to do the SSD. I prefer the SSD for one reason. Guys, this is an 128 gigabyte card and I only get 4 minutes of recording. 4 minutes. The files are really big. So don't just press record and prepare and do some minor adjustments, because then chances are high that you already shot half of your card. So that's one thing, the files are major, but it's nice to see the recovery that's possible in, for instance, low light situations. So here's the comparison between the normal 6K ProRes and the 6K ProRes RAW. And it's quite a difference to see the normal ProRes and ProRes RAW. So it's great to have that built in the camera. So guys, if you have such an extreme situation, you can rely on the RAW. Next thing, the hybrid AF autofocus system, which is of course great to have now in this camera. I still have to say, seeing the comparisons now here, I'm still impressed with the GH6. Even though it's contrast detect, it's fast. The difference here is funny. The GH6 is like faster in the autofocus detection visually, as in on the screen, the squares. It's faster than the GH7, but the focus system is a bit behind. And that's the other way around with the GH7. It's so fast that it's faster than the detection visuals on the screen. So just a funny thing, but that's it. And of course, the obvious, hybrid autofocus is better. It's better, you don't have the hunting of issues with what you normally have with the contrast detect based. So now when I'm using it for like talking head and moving a bit, it's not hunting, it's just all focused and locks on the subject. And that's great to have in this camera. The next thing, the proxy recording. That is awesome to have now also in this camera. I would have loved to already have it in the GH6, I've waited it for years to have proxy recording in the camera. Now we have it with the GH7, like with the update in the S5 II and the S5 IIX, which I'm also using, of course. And the proxy recording is fine to have, because then you can decide, okay, I'm doing a shot with a high quality, which is recorded on the CF Express card or on the SSD, and I'm using the smaller size files with the same name, which is recorded on the card slot 2 on an SD card. And with editing, it's easier to edit with small files and then exporting it with the bigger files. It's great to have it. Still, same thing with the S5 II. I would have loved to see it also with the OpenGate. So when using OpenGate, for instance, you don't have that option. And I like to use OpenGate a lot also with the anamorphic, and the files are quite big, and then it's also great to have it with the OpenGate. So I hope that there will be coming a firmware for both the S5 II, the S5 IIX and the GH7 to have it also on the OpenGate. That's it. Then the next thing, the sensor. So we got the sensor, a new sensor, and one thing that is very important for me was the issue with the streak lines in the GH6. So with extreme contrast situations, highlights, there were these streak lines over the image. As you can see here, this is with the dynamic boost range turned off. You can see it a bit, what I mean. And when I'm turning it on, it will be even more noticeable. Yes, and in some situations you saw the lines. So this was an issue, and that has been solved in the GH7 luckily, so that's not the case anymore. Also another thing with this new sensor is the dynamic boost range, of dynamic range boost. With the GH6 you had the option to turn it off and turn it on. With the GH7 you don't have that option, it's built in, it's automatically done. There's a difference then, because the ISO, the lowest ISO for, let's say, V-Log is 500. It's the lowest you can get. With the GH6 you had the option to turn it off, and then you had 250 ISO, or you turn it on, you get the 800 ISO. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If you have a situation where you need a low ISO, and you're shooting V-Log, yeah, then I'd say get an ND filter, because it's not getting lower than 500. Another thing, the LUT, real-time LUT. Great to have it in this camera too. My battery just died on me. How is that even possible? Not that alone, also this one. What the hell is going on? Okay. Oh, this one is still alive. Forgot to turn it on. So there you go. Nice to add. Nice to add. Okay. Searching for new light. Okay, guys. Let's do it without. I'm sorry. Without the light. So the real-time LUT built in now, also with the new lab app. Great to have it, like with the S9, to have it in this camera. I'm not doing like a review about that. It's coming later when I'm reviewing a fully functional S9, because it's one of part of that concept, but still great to have it here. I have tested the lab app, but both are demo, so they're not like fully compatible with each other yet. I did work with it. I made a lot of few nice custom LUTs already, so I can't wait to use them. So have to wait until I have a fully working camera and app, and I will review it in another video, an S9 video. And then we have the 32-bit float recording. It's great to have it built in the camera. What does it mean? Well, normally when you're shooting, let's say with a GH6, you also get the option for the 4-channel recording, which is awesome to have, but still you have to keep an eye on the levels and maybe do some minor adjustments during take. That's not the issue anymore with the GH7. So with the GH7 you got the option to just check the levels at front, then press record and you're done. And that's the whole function of the 32-bit float recording. Built in now, and that means also that you don't have to synchronize it afterwards. You get one file, video file, accompanied with that audio file. Built in, so that's great to have. So it works way faster. And just checking my list, guys, but I think that's it. That's it for now. These are the highlights that I want to mention, like to discuss with you. I hope, of course, because there's still that one thing, which I added, of course, to this video.
a licensing deal with ARRI, we are thrilled to announce the addition of the legendary Log C3 profile to the GH7.
Oh.
ARRI Log C3, officially certified by ARRI.
So, okay, apparently, purchase a new log profile that you can unlock. So that is great. The C3 from ARRI, apparently, and that's nice, that collaboration, because one of my favorite series, a Netflix series, called The Rookie, they also filmed as a main camera with the ARRI, and then with the B camera with the GH1. Simply because after a lot of tests with other brands and other cameras, this camera, the GH1 from Lumix, was the best option, the one that matched the best with the image of the ARRI. So that's great to see this now. Of course, very excited about this collaboration and what it maybe brings for in the future. So great. I'm curious, but for now I have to say I'm glad to have this in the lineup. I understand it's quite fast. Normally you have like 5 years in between, but seeing the developments in the current models, I say yeah, it's needed. It's a good choice to add this to the lineup with the current developments. Great to have this. Okay guys, so that's the video for today. I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions about this camera, just drop your comment below. And as always, see you next one. Dude, what's wrong? Checking the batteries.